What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to do a front brake change on a 2016 Nissan Altima. First of all, you want to go ahead and put your jack stand up. Make sure that the ridge right here is in the slit of the jack. Make sure you have your parking brake on as well. And make sure you have a good solid surface. I made sure to, as I was winding it up, applying pressure, just helping it seat in. So that's always good to do. But yeah, so once you take your wheel off, loosen it before you take all the weight off, but just barely, just so you don't have to fight it. But yeah, so once you pull the wheel off, you want to come in and loosen these bolts on the back side of the caliper. So once you have this one and top one and the bottom one loosen, you'll take, okay, so once you take all the screws out, you're going to want to work this back. And it's very heavy, so be careful. I usually just take and sit it up here in a secure location. You don't want it hanging on the actual brake line. That's not good for it. Also, they'll usually give you some brake caliper grease for free, and you just pull these out, give it, coat it with grease, pop them back in, and then once you, before I get onto that, I just wanted to say, you just pull, there's a little boot, it seats right in here, and you just take and lube this up pretty nicely, pop it back in, and then slip that back over there. Alright, so now just get right here, start pulling this back. There you go. Now you got the old brake. And then there we go. The brakes I actually purchased just a minute ago. They came with these new slides, guides, whatever you want to call them. Just figuring it out as I go along, to be honest. But yeah, just work this off. Take the new one, pop it back in there. Gotta work it in there, make sure it's seated properly. Also, I want to change out the actual rotor, but that's gonna have to be for another time. This is a vehicle I just bought for putting miles on for work. So when you're installing this, take this, seat it at the bottom, kind of get that worked in. You want to make sure this tab on the right, or on the left right here, gets pushed down. You push it down, and it's going to see how it's sitting right up under that top tab, and you're going to take that and slide it in and seat it right in there in the retainer. Basically what this first tab right here does is when your brakes wear below a certain point, it will start making an awful squealing noise. So look how thick this one is, right? See that curve, or the where they've got it indented right there? Look at the old one. So yeah, there's practically nothing left, and you can see that's the pin that was actually wearing up against the rotor, which makes an awful noise. Alright, so once you've got the new brake pads seated in there properly, we're going to take and depress the cylinder on here with a C-clamp. I'm sure there's another way to do it, but I just went to Lowe's and got a C-clamp, about $13, $14. I'm sure you can get them cheaper somewhere else, even a pawn shop. Okay, so you've got your cylinder right here. Basically the C-clamp is going to depress this, pushing all the brake fluid back up into the housing, which will allow you to seat this back on here. Otherwise it's too tight. You know, you got brand new brakes, and the old ones were squeezed in much tighter, so this is sticking out much further, so you kind of have to depress, or you have to press this back in. And let's see if I can do this. This is gonna be kind of hard to do with one hand, but basically you take and it'll push that back in. Alright, so now that we've got that done, I'm going to take it, see how it slips right back on, and then we're going to reattach the screws. Alright, so now that you've got everything refastened, you got everything greased nicely, you can just put your tire back on and repeat. And if you felt this was useful, feel free to leave a like or a comment, or comment below if you have any questions.